Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are jumping into the really complex and fast-moving legal world of esports. And for those of you in sport management and law programs, listen up, because this isn't just some side topic anymore. This is the new frontier. We're going to break it all down using a great chapter from the textbook, Law for Recreation and Sport Managers. All right, let's get right to it. We're talking about a massive, multi-billion-dollar global industry. But here's the kicker. Traditional sports have had, centuries to figure out their legal rulebooks. Esports, its legal framework is being written as we speak. This isn't just a new field of law. It's a wide-open frontier, and that's a huge opportunity for you to become the expert who literally shapes its future. So first things first, let's make sure we're all on the same page. What are we actually talking about here? The key words are competition and spectators. This isn't just a bunch of people playing video games in their basement. It's organized, competitive gaming with an audience, just like any other sport. And the variety is just incredible. I mean, you've got everything from MOBAs, like League of Legends, which are kind of like high-speed chess, to first-person shooters, sports simulations like FIFA, and even these wild hybrids like Rocket League, soccer with rocket cars. Each one of these genres has its own dedicated community, and, you guessed it, its own set of legal puzzles. And because this whole scene just exploded so fast, the legal system is basically scrambling to keep up. Big areas like copyright, player rights, contracts, labor law, they're all being put to the test in this new esports context. And that's creating some really fascinating challenges for people like you, the next generation of sport managers and lawyers. Okay, so where do we even begin with all this? Well, you have to start with the single most important difference between esports and traditional sports. You have to understand who holds all the power. I mean, think about it. In basketball, nobody owns the court. But in esports, someone owns the entire field of play. And that someone is the game developer. This is everything. Every tournament, every stream, every single highlight reel. It all happens inside a piece of property that is owned and copyrighted by a company. This gives developers a level of control that just doesn't exist anywhere else in sports. And this isn't just some informal power. It is baked right into the law. The Copyright Act gives the creator a kind of limited monopoly. It's the legal muscle that lets them decide who gets to run a tournament, who can broadcast their game, and exactly how their intellectual property gets used. So how do they enforce that power? Well, here's a perfect example. Let's say a streamer is playing a game, but they don't have the right permissions. The developer can issue a DMCA takedown notice. That notice goes straight to a platform like Twitch or YouTube, and bam, the content gets taken down. It's a really, really powerful tool in this digital world. But the developers don't hold all the cards here. The players, the stars of the show, they have their own very real source of legal power. And as a future manager, this is your turf. This is what you'll be hired to protect and leverage. And that power comes from something called the right of publicity. It's pretty simple, really. Just like a famous actor has the right to control who uses their face on a billboard, an esports superstar has the right to control how their name, their image, their gamer tag, their whole personal brand is used for commercial purposes. And this is where things get really interesting, because it sets up this classic legal showdown you're going to see all the time. On one side, the player says, hey, you used my image without my permission and it cost me money. But on the other side, the defense might argue it's protected free speech, or, and this is a big one, that they transforms the player's likeness into a new piece of art. It's a huge legal gray area. Okay, now let's talk about the actual paperwork, the documents that hold this whole ecosystem together, the agreements between players, teams, sponsors, you name it. Look, if you're going into sport management, contracts are your bread and butter. You have to nail this stuff. Yeah, I know, this might feel like Contract Law 101, but I'm telling you, it is so important. As a manager, you have to make sure every single deal you touch, player contracts, sponsorship agreements, has these 5 things: offer, acceptance, consideration, legality, and capacity. If you're missing just one, the whole thing could fall apart. And here's one of the most powerful and most unique contracts in esports: the EULA. You know that giant wall of text you click agree on without reading? That's it. And everyone from the most casual player to the pros earning millions has agreed to one. That simple click gives developers sweeping power to control behavior inside their game, even to the point of banning players. All right, let's get to the really messy stuff, the area that's causing some of the biggest debates and biggest headaches in esports today. As players' salaries get bigger and teams get more professional, questions about their rights as workers are coming right to the front. And it all comes down to this one huge question. Is a player an employee or are they an independent contractor? I mean, this is a total game changer. If they're an employee, they could be entitled to things like minimum wage, overtime, and benefits. If they're a contractor, they're basically a freelancer. The answer completely changes the financial structure of a team. So how do you even figure that out? Well, courts will tell you it often boils down to one word: control. How much control does the team have over a player's schedule, their personal sponsors, what they can and can't say? To measure all that, they use different legal tests, like the right to control test or the ABC test. If you're managing a team, you absolutely have to understand how these work. So here's the bottom line. The legal rulebook for esports isn't finished. It's being written right now, in every contract that gets signed and in every court case that gets decided. As the next generation of sport managers and lawyers, you're not just going to be playing by the rules, you're going to be the ones writing them. So the real question isn't just, what will the future esports look like? It's what part are you going to play in building it?